Emily, you're going? My mother said firmly, adjusting her necklace. I shook my head. No, I won't stand in the same room with them. Dad's voice carried finality. His family won't be torn apart. You'll attend. Already torn apart, I whispered. And you're making me bleed for it. Mom sighed. One night, smile, pretend, for us. For you, I snapped. Never for me. But hours later, I stood in the glittering hall, dress stiff, mask of indifference plastered on my face. Laughter and champagne filled the air, but every sound scraped like glass. Emily, a relative, clutched my arm. So brave of you to come. I forced a smile. I didn't have a choice. Her voice dropped. You'll find someone better. I swallowed hard. Thanks. Across the room, Sophie beamed. Daniel's hand on her waist. She sparkled. Innocent on the surface, poisonous beneath. My stomach turned. Maya leaned close, whispering, You don't have to stay long. I murmured back. Every second feels like a lifetime. A cousin smirked as he passed. Guess you weren't enough for him, huh? I stiffened, words choking me. Maya hissed, Ignore them. But whispers followed wherever I moved. She lost her man to her own sister. Imagine the shame. Maybe she wasn't satisfying him. Each dagger cut deeper. Sophie approached, smile sweet. Emily, I'm so glad you came. I stared. At her, are you? Of course, she said lightly. We're still sisters. Maya muttered barely. Sophie's smile faltered. Can we talk later? No, I said flatly. I have nothing left to say. Daniel appeared at her side, eyes flicking to mine before darting away. Emily. I forced my voice steady. Daniel. He cleared his throat. Thank you. For being here? Don't thank me, I replied. Thank my parents. His jaw tightened. I never wanted it to be like this. Yet here we are, I whispered. Maya tugged my arm. Come on. But Sophie's voice followed. I hope you'll find happiness too. I turned sharply. Don't you dare pretend to care. Eyes glistened, but I walked away before tears could manipulate me. We sat at a table near the edge of the hall. I tried to steady my breathing. Maya leaned close. You're stronger than them. Hold on. I pressed my glass to my lips. The wine bitter? I feel like everyone's watching me fall apart. She whispered, Let them watch. You're still standing. But my chest ached, and the air felt too heavy. When the toast began, Daniel raised his glass. To love, to family, and to new beginnings. Applause rang out. My ears roared. Love, family. My hands shook, nails digging into my palm. Maya touched my arm. Breathe, M. Then, across the crowd, I saw him. A stranger. No, faintly familiar. Dark hair, steady eyes. He didn't clap. He didn't smile. He just watched me, gaze piercing, unflinching. Maya noticed, Who's that? I swallowed. Ethan Miller. I think he's related to the Bennetts. Ethan held my gaze, and in his eyes I saw no pity. No judgment, just quiet recognition. For the first time all night, my heart steadied. But Sophie's laughter rang out, Daniel's hand brushing her cheek. And the spell shattered. I whispered, I need air. Maya followed as I slipped onto the balcony. Cool night wrapped around me, but the ache inside stayed hot. She whispered, Do you want to leave? Yes, I said. But if I walk out now, they win. Everyone will say I couldn't handle it. She nodded. Then stay, but don't let them see you break. The door creaked. Ethan stepped onto the balcony, hands in pockets. I stiffened. Do you need something? He shook his head. No, just thought you looked like you needed space. I frowned. And you decided to follow. Me, not follow, he said quietly. Stand near. I studied him. Why? He met my eyes. Because I know what betrayal looks like, and I saw it in your face tonight. The words struck deep. You don't know me. Not yet, he admitted. But I know pain when I see it. I exhaled shakily. Everyone else just whispers. They're cowards, he said simply. Something in his calm steadiness unsettled me. "You're not like them." He shrugged. "Neither are you." The door opened again, Maya. "Appeared, Em. Are you okay?" I nodded quickly. "Yeah." Ethan gave a faint nod. "Take care of yourself." He slipped back inside. Maya eyed me. "What was that?" "Nothing," I murmured, though my chest still buzzed with his words. Back inside. Music swelled. Sophie's laughter cut through the air, Daniel's hand wrapped tight around her waist. But Ethan's gaze lingered in my mind, steady and unshaken, and for the first time that night, I felt seen. "Emily. You can't keep glaring at Sophie every time you walk into the room." Mom snapped. Arms crossed. I clenched my fists. Then maybe she shouldn't be here every night with Daniel, like nothing happened. Dad's voice rumbled. "Enough. You're embarrassing us with this attitude? Embarrassing you?" My voice cracked. "She's the one who destroyed my life. And you're worried about appearances?" Mom sighed. "People are talking. You need to move forward. Move forward." My chest burned. "You mean shut up and accept that my sister is with my fiancé?" Dad's jaw tightened. "Family unity matters more than your feelings." I stared at him, disbelief flooding me. "So loyalty means nothing. My pain means nothing." Sophie's voice drifted from the hallway. "I didn't want this to happen. Stop," I shouted. "Stop pretending you're a victim. You knew exactly what you were doing." Mom stepped forward. "Emily, don't raise your voice." "Why not?" I snapped. "No one hears me otherwise." "No one cares." The silence that followed was heavy, final. My hands shook as I grabbed the suitcase I had hidden under my bed. Dad frowned. "Are you leaving?" I said firmly. "If betrayal is welcome here, then I'm not." Mom's eyes widened. "If you can't just walk out, watch me." I slung the bag over my shoulder, heart pounding. "You already chose her. Now I'm choosing me." Sophie whispered, "Emily, please don't." My voice cut sharp. "You lost the right to ask me for anything." I pushed past them, ignoring their calls, my chest hollow and burning. Rain poured outside as I stumbled to the bus stop, clothes clinging, suitcase heavy in my hand. I sat on the cold bench, trembling, tears mixing with raindrops. "What now?" I whispered to myself. "Where do I even go?" Headlights slowed, a car pulled up, the window rolled down. "Emily." The voice was low, steady. "Ethan." I blinked. "Through the rain?" "Why are you here?" "It's driving home," he said simply. "Why are you out in this storm?" I looked away. "'Cause my family doesn't want me anymore." He stepped out, umbrella in hand, holding it over me. "Get in." The car, I shook my head. "I'll be fine." "You're shivering," he said firmly. "That's not fine." My voice trembled. "I don't need pity. It's not pity." His eyes met mine. "It's concern." For a moment, I hesitated. The bus stop felt like the end of the world. His car felt like escape. "I don't know if I can trust anyone anymore," I whispered. He nodded slowly. "Then start small. Just trust me for tonight." I studied him, searching for deceit. But all I saw was calm patience. My chest ached. "Fine," I whispered. "Just tonight." He took my suitcase gently, sliding it into the back seat. "Come on." Inside the car, warmth wrapped around me. I pressed my forehead against the window, breath fogging the glass. "Where should I take you?" he asked softly. I shook my head. "I don't have anywhere." His hands tightened on the wheel. "Then come to my place. It's small but dry." I frowned. "Why are you doing this?" "'Cause I know what it's like," he said quietly. I turned to him. "It's to be betrayed." He nodded. "Sit in the rain, thinking you're alone." The words pierced me. Whispered, "And did it ever stop hurting?" He glanced at me. "Not right away." But eventually, yes. Silence settled, broken only by rain against the windshield. Finally, I whispered, "Thank you." "You don't have to thank me," he replied. "Just don't give up yet." I leaned back, closing my eyes. For the first time in weeks, the crushing weight on my chest eased, even if just a little. I didn't know what tomorrow held. But tonight, drenched and broken, I wasn't alone. I pushed the apartment door open, calling softly, "Daniel." I brought dinner. Silence answered. The lights were dim, but laughter floated from the bedroom. My chest tightened. I set the bag down. "Daniel." My voice cracked. A muffled giggle familiar to familiar drifted through the air. I froze, every nerve screaming. I forced my legs to move, pushed the door, and the world shattered. Sophie, my sister. In Daniel's arms, Emily. Daniel leaped off the bed, fumbling with his shirt. Sophie pulled the sheet up, eyes wide, face pale. I couldn't breathe. "Tell me I'm dreaming." My throat burned. "Tell me this isn't real." "Emily, wait," Sophie started, but I cut her off. "No." I staggered back. "Don't you dare say my name like you didn't just destroy me." Daniel reached for me. "It just happened. Don't." I shoved his hand away. "Don't trip and fall into someone's sister." My words shook, but fire laced them. Sophie whispered, "I didn't mean, you didn't mean." My laugh cracked. "You didn't mean to betray me? My own blood?" She clutched the sheet. Tighter. I was weak. You were selfish." I screamed. "You wanted what I had? You always did." Daniel's jaw clenched. "Emily, please listen. I love you, but love." My chest heaved. "You call this love?" I pointed at them. "Was she in your arms when you promised? Forever. Was she the one you swore you'd protect?" He looked down. "It was a mistake." I shook my head, tears blinding me. "No, a mistake is forgetting to lock the door." This was a choice," Sophie whispered. I couldn't stop." "Of course you couldn't." My voice dropped to a whisper. "You never could stand me being happy." She flinched. "Not true." I laughed bitterly. "Isn't it? In school, you stole my clothes, my friends, even my birthday spotlight. And now you took the one person I trusted most." Daniel's voice rose. "Emily, don't turn this into some childhood grudge." I turned on him, trembling. "Don't you dare minimize my pain. You promised me everything, Daniel. Everything." His face hardened. "And you were so busy chasing perfection, you forgot me." The words sliced through me. "So this is my fault. I'm not saying that you are." My chest heaved. "You're saying because I tried to hold us together, because I loved too hard? You ran into my sister's bed." Sophie whispered, "Stop fighting, shut up." I snapped, "You don't get to speak. Not after this." She bit her lip, eyes glistening. I pressed my palms to my head. I can't do this." Daniel stepped closer. "Emily, we can work through this. Work through." My laugh was hollow. "Tell me, Daniel, how do we work through? You inside my sister?" He flinched. I staggered back, hand on the wall. "You killed me tonight. Both of you. Do you even realize that?" Sophie sobbed. "Emily, I'm sorry. Sorry." My voice broke. Sorry doesn't erase the image. Burned into my head. Sorry doesn't mend the knife in my chest. Daniel reached for me again. "Please, don't walk away." I yanked free. "You don't get to beg. You made your choice." His face twisted, desperation bleeding through. "I love you." "No, you don't." My tears spilled hot down my cheeks. "If you loved me, you'd never touch her." Silence filled the room, broken only by Sophie's muffled sobs. I stared at them, my fiancé, my sister, and something inside me cracked, sharp and final. "You know what hurts most?" My voice dropped low. "I hate myself for not seeing it sooner, for trusting you both, for believing I was enough." Sophie whispered, "You are enough." I shook my head. "If I were, I wouldn't be standing here watching you betray me." Daniel's hands trembled. "Emily, don't leave," but I turned. "You've already lost me." I stumbled out, slamming the door behind me. My chest caved, sobs tearing free as I slid down the hallway wall. My phone buzzed Maya's name on the screen. I answered, voice broken. What's wrong?" I choked. "Daniel, Sophie." Together. A gasp. No, no, tell me you're lying. I wish I was. Her voice hardened. I'm coming. Don't move. I curled into myself, whispering, why me? Why wasn't I enough? Her words rushed through the line, steady and fierce. Don't you dare blame yourself. They're the traitors, not you. But inside, all I heard was Sophie's laughter. Daniel's silence and my own heart breaking into pieces I wasn't sure I could ever gather again. Emily, please sit, my mother said, voice trembling. I stood near the doorway, arms folded tight. Why? So you can tell me Sophie didn't. Mean it? My father sighed. It's complicated. Complicated. My laugh came sharp. She slept with my fiancé. That's not complicated. That's betrayal. Mom whispered, she's your sister. And I was her sister, I shot back. Did that matter when she took Daniel? Dad rubbed his forehead. You can't tear this family apart over one mistake. One mistake? My chest tightened. Do you even hear yourselves? She destroyed my life, and you're worried about family dinners. Mom's eyes filled. She regrets it. Does she regret the sheets or the kisses? I demanded. Which part? The silence was crushing. I turned to leave, but Dad's voice stopped me. Emily, you need to calm down. I spun. Don't tell me to calm down. You weren't the one watching your sister in your fiancé's bed. Footsteps padded softly. Sophie appeared in the hallway. Her face blotchy, eyes red. Emily, please don't. My voice cut sharp. Don't say my name. She wrung her hands. I'm sorry. I stepped forward. You stole the man who promised me forever, and you think one word fixes it? Her tears fell. I was lost. You were jealous. My throat burned. Admit it. You couldn't stand me having something you didn't. Her silence. Was my answer? Mom whispered, Emily. Forgiveness, I snapped. Stop defending her. Sophie's voice cracked. I hate myself for it. Good, I hissed. Hate yourself every day the way I have to hate myself for trusting you. Dad muttered, this anger isn't healthy. I laughed bitterly. Neither is betrayal. The room swam, my breath shallow. I turned, storming out. Maya found me. Later that night, she knocked once, then pushed into my room. You look like hell, she said bluntly. I wiped my eyes. Thanks. She sat beside me. Tell me everything. I shook my head. You already know enough. Her tone softened. I want to hear it from you. My voice broke. I walked in, and there they were. My sister, my fiancé, and I froze. I felt like the floor disappeared under me. Her jaw clenched. Monsters. They said it just happened. My words dripped bitterness, as if passion excuses betrayal. She grabbed my hand. You didn't deserve this. Asking myself why. My voice shook. Why wasn't I enough? Her grip tightened. Don't you dare blame yourself. This is on them. Tears spilled down my cheeks. Then why does it feel like it's me? Like maybe I loved too much, held too tight, drove him away. Stop, she said firmly. He chose to betray. She chose to betray. End of story. I buried my face in my hands. I can't sleep. Every time I close my eyes, I see them. I hear them. Maya whispered, then stay awake with me tonight. I'll be here. I shook my head. I don't want you wasting your time. You're my best friend, she said. You're not a waste. Silence stretched, broken only by my shallow breathing. Finally, I whispered, I don't know who I am anymore. Without him, without trust, without family. Who am I? Maya cupped my face, forcing me to meet her eyes. You're Emily Carter, stronger than both of them put together. And you'll prove it. I wanted to believe her, but my chest still felt hollow. What if I can't? Then I'll remind you every damn day until you do. A weak laugh slipped from me. You're stubborn. Always, she said, smiling faintly. I leaned back, staring at the ceiling. My parents want me to forgive. Her eyes narrowed. Of course they do. It's easier than facing how broken the family is. They act like I'm overreacting. You're not. I turned toward her. What if they choose her over me? Her voice hardened. Then they don't deserve you either. The words struck deep. For the first time, anger began to feel. Less like a wound and more like armor. Still, tears burned again. She was supposed to be my sister, and she still is, Maya said. But you don't owe her your love anymore. I closed my eyes, whispering, I want the pain to stop. Maya wrapped her arm around me. It will, one day. I shook my head. Not today. No, she admitted. But I'll stay until it does. I exhaled shakily, my body heavy with exhaustion. The betrayal replayed over and over in my mind. But Maya's steady presence kept me from drowning completely. Even so, I couldn't silence the whisper that haunted me. Maybe I was never enough to be loved the way I thought I was. Your suitcase looks less tragic on my floor than it did at that bus stop, Ethan remarked, leaning against the doorframe. I managed a weak smile. That's your way of saying I'm officially a squatter now, he shrugged. Call it what you want. But if you're staying, you'll need more than pity tears to pay rent. I rolled my eyes, so you admit it. You pity me. No, he said flatly. I don't waste time on pity. I'm saying you're stronger than the wreck. You keep pretending to be. The words stung, but something in his tone kept me from lashing back. Maybe I am a wreck. Did you ever think of that? He crossed his arms. Then fix it. Sitting in the dark every night won't change anything. I clenched my jaw. You make it sound so simple. It's not simple, he said quietly. It's survival. And you're still here. That means you want it whether you admit it or not. I swallowed hard. What if I don't know how? Then start small. Get a job. Prove to yourself you can stand without them. I sighed. Who's going to hire me when I can barely hold myself together? Someone will, he said firmly. But not if you don't try. A week later, I walked into the tiny publishing office downtown. The receptionist glanced up. Interview, she asked. Yes, I whispered, clutching my resume like a lifeline. The manager, a sharp-eyed woman, named Claire, scanned my papers. Why publishing? I forced myself to meet her gaze, 'cause stories saved me when people didn't. Her lips curved slightly. We'll call you. That evening, I dropped into Ethan's kitchen chair. She said they'll call, which probably means don't hold your breath. He set a mug of coffee in front of me. Or it means they'll call. You really think so? Yes. He smirked. You're stubborn enough to survive that office. I laughed bitterly. Is that supposed to be encouragement? Take it however you want. 2 days later, the phone rang. My heart nearly stopped when Claire's voice came through. Emily. Welcome to the team. I hung up slowly, breath shaking. I got it? I whispered. Ethan looked up from his book. He sounded surprised. I am. Tears pricked my eyes. I didn't think I'd matter anywhere again. He studied me. You matter because you show up. That's it. Simple. I pressed a hand to my face, fighting tears. Why do you always cut through everything? Because no one else does, he said. And you need truth more than comfort. My first week at the publishing house was chaos. Stacks of manuscripts, endless proofreading, coffee runs that left my shoes stained. Yet each night I came back to Ethan's apartment, exhausted but alive. One evening, I collapsed on the couch. I think my boss secretly hates me. Ethan raised a brow. What makes you say that? She gives me every boring assignment possible. Maybe she's testing you. Or maybe she knows I'll fail. He shook his head. Stop deciding. Outcomes before you finish the story. I groaned. Do you always speak in riddles? Only when someone's making excuses. The nightmares didn't leave me. I woke up drenched in sweat, Sophie's laughter echoing in my ears. Daniel's hand slipping from mine. One night, Ethan knocked on my door. You're pacing again. I pressed my back to the wall. I can't shut it off. He leaned against the frame. Then talk it out. What's the point? My voice cracked. It won't change the fact that she betrayed me. No, he admitted, but it might stop the memory from owning you. I swallowed. She looked me in the eyes, Ethan, and she still chose him. His voice softened. Then stop giving her your nights. She's already taken enough. My throat tightened. How do I do that? Practice, he said simply, and patience. I buried my face in my hands. I don't know if I can. You can, he replied, because you haven't broken yet. And you're not going to. Days turned into weeks. I found myself laughing at small things, typos at work. Ethan's sarcastic remarks. The absurdity of carrying 2 bags of groceries up for flights of stairs. The heaviness remained, but it didn't crush me the way it once had. One night, I told him quietly, "You don't treat me like glass." "That's because you're not," he said. "Everyone else acts like I'll shatter." "Then stop proving them right." I exhaled slowly. Maybe survival isn't impossible after all. He gave a rare smile. Finally, she's learning. For the first time, I believed it. Maybe I wasn't whole yet, but I was still here, and that had to count for something. "Did you hear?" Clara leaned over my desk, lowering her voice. I glanced up from the manuscript pile. "Hear what?" "About Sophie and Daniel." Her eyes gleamed with the kind of curiosity people pretend is sympathy. My chest tightened. "What about them?" "Apparently he lost his temper at a dinner. Loud enough that half the guests heard. Sophie left in tears. Forced a casual shrug. Maybe they just had a fight." Clara smirked. "That's not what people are saying. Where it is, it's becoming a pattern." The thought sent a strange rush through me, half vindication, half pity I didn't want to admit. That evening, Ethan noticed my expression as I stirred soup on the stove. "You look like someone told you Christmas came early," he said. I let out a laugh that wasn't really laughter. News travels fast. "Sophie and Daniel aren't perfect." He raised an eyebrow. "And you care because everyone looked at me like I wasn't enough." Now it turns out he's the one cracking. Ethan leaned against the counter. "So you want revenge by watching them fall apart?" His gaze. "Is it wrong if part of me does?" "No," he said simply. "But don't confuse their downfall with your healing. Those are 2 different things." I swallowed. "You always have to ruin the satisfaction, don't you?" He smirked. "Someone has to keep you honest." 2 nights later, my phone buzzed. Sophie's name lit up the screen. My stomach dropped. I answered hesitantly. "Sophie," her voice was unnervingly bright. "Emily, I thought we should catch up." I tightened my grip on the phone. "Catch up?" "After everything?" She laughed too quickly. "Come on, don't be dramatic. We're family." "Family?" Word tasted bitter. "Why are you calling me?" "No reason. Just wanted to hear your voice." "Things are great. Daniel's wonderful." Her tone cracked on the word wonderful. I heard the tremor she tried to hide. I said softly, "You don't sound fine." She bristled. "I am fine, better than fine. Everyone's jealous, you know?" The silence stretched. Finally, I whispered, "Then why call me?" She hung up without answering. I stared at the phone, pulse racing. At work, Clara found me staring at my computer screen. "You look haunted," she said, sliding into the chair beside me. "My sister called." Clara tilted her head. "That sister?" "Yeah." Pretended everything was perfect. But I could hear it. The cracks. "Then don't. Let her drag you back into it." Clara's tone was firm. "You've got your own life now." I glanced at her. "Since when are you so invested in my life?" She grinned. "Since I decided I like you. You don't gossip, you don't flatter, just survive. It's refreshing." I chuckled. "That's the nicest backhanded compliment I've ever gotten." "Teak it or leave it," she said, nudging my arm. "Friends?" For a moment, I hesitated. Then I nodded. "Friends." That night, I told Ethan. "Clara called me her friend today," I said, curling up on the couch. He looked amused. Should I be jealous? I laughed softly. She's the first person who sees me as more than the girl who got left behind. No. Needed someone like that, he said. I studied him. You've been that someone too? His expression shifted, warmer than usual. I just told you the truth. She'll give you company. I gave you survival. I felt my chest tighten. And what if I needed both? He held my gaze for a long moment. Then maybe you're allowed to have both. The days blurred with work deadlines and stolen conversations with Clara. But Sophie's voice lingered in my head. One evening, I admitted to Ethan, I don't know if I want our marriage to fail or for her to finally realize what she did to me. He set down his book. Maybe you don't need either. Maybe all you need is to stop letting her choices decide your mood. I sighed. That sounds impossible. Nothing's impossible, he said. Just painful. I stared at him. Why do you always make things sound both cruel and hopeful? Because they are, he replied, weeks later. Clara and I grabbed coffee after work. You're glowing, she teased. I rolled my eyes. It's just caffeine. No, she said knowingly. Something else. Or someone else. I stiffened. If you're implying Ethan, she smirked. I knew it. The way you light up when you mention him. I don't, I began, but she cut me off. Relax. I'm not judging. It's just saying, maybe don't run from it if it feels real. Her words followed me home like an echo I couldn't shake. Later that night, Ethan found me staring out the window. What's on your mind? He asked. I hesitated. Clara thinks I feel something for you. He studied me carefully. Do you? My pulse raced. I don't know. Then don't answer yet. He said quietly. Just let yourself feel without deciding what it means. Exhaled. You make it sound simple. It's not, he said, stepping closer. But neither is survival, okay? And you're already doing that. His words settled into me, both terrifying and comforting. For the first time, I wasn't sure if I feared the cracks in Sophie's life or the ones beginning to open in my own heart. Clara leaned across the table at lunch. Did you see the headlines? I shook my head. No. What now? Her eyes widened. Daniel, he got caught in some financial scandal. Fired on the spot. My fork froze halfway to my mouth. You're serious? Dead serious. The mighty doctor brought down by his own arrogance. I pressed my lips together, a strange satisfaction rising. I can't say I'm surprised. Clara studied me. You're not upset? No, I said firmly. Not anymore. That evening, my mother called. Emily, she whispered her voice tight. Sophie's here. She's not well. I sat straighter. She went back to you. She had nowhere else. Daniel's temper, he's unbearable. We don't know what to do. The irony made me laugh bitterly. So now you're calling me? Her silence stung more than any words. Finally, she said, we need your advice. You're the strong one now. The strong one. I never thought I'd hear that from her. When I walked into my parents' house the next night, Sophie sat on the couch, face blotched from crying. She looked up, voice breaking. Emily, I stayed standing. Why am I here? Because I don't know what to do, she whispered. Daniel's ruined everything. I thought he loved me. I thought her words dissolved into sobs. I swallowed hard. You thought wrong. She flinched. Please don't be cruel. I've lost everything. I crossed my arms. So did I, except I lost it because of you. Her tears spilled faster. I didn't know he'd become this. I made a mistake. Exhaled sharply. A mistake. You tore my life apart and called it love. And now you want me to fix the pieces. Emily, I'm begging you, she said, clutching my arm. You're stronger than me. Tell me what to do. I pulled back, her grip burning. Why should I? Because you're my sister, she sobbed. My father stepped in quietly. Emily, maybe just talk to her. I turned to him. Talk when she never listened to me. When you all pitied me instead of standing by me, my mother whispered. We were wrong. We see it now. The words should have healed me, but instead they felt hollow. I looked back at Sophie's, maul, desperate, broken. I said coldly, "You wanted Daniel, you got him. Now you live with it." Her face crumpled. "So you'll let me drown?" I hesitated. The anger surged, but so did the memory of my own nights curled in pain. I hated her. I pitied her, and I couldn't decide which was stronger. Later at Ethan's apartment, I slammed the door behind me. He looked up. "Rough night." "She begged me," I said. Pacing, tears, apologies, everything. And for a second, I almost wanted to help. "Her, and you didn't." I shook my head. "No, I told her to live with her choices." Ethan leaned back, studying me. "And how did that feel? Like I finally had power," I admitted. "But also, like I became someone colder than I wanted to be." He was quiet for a moment. Then, gently, "It's not about being cold. It's about deciding where your responsibility ends. You don't owe her your healing." I sank into the couch. "But I don't want to turn into her. Bitter, small. You're not," he said. "You're strong, and strength means knowing when not to rescue people who broke you." The next day, Clara asked, "So, did you talk to Sophie?" "Yes, and I didn't save her." Clara nodded slowly. "Good, she made her bed. You're not her crutch." Her certainty steadied me. For the first time, I realized I wasn't the girl abandoned and pitied anymore. I was the one they turned to. One who survived. Daniel's voice stopped me on the street. "Emily, wait." I froze. The sound of his footsteps behind me brought back every wound I thought had closed. I turned slowly, rain dripping from his coat, his face gaunt and hollow. He looked at me with haunted eyes. "I've lost everything." I kept my tone flat, so I heard. His lips trembled. "The job, the house, the respect. Sophie can barely look at me, but you still can." I raised an eyebrow. "Can I?" "I never stopped loving you," he said, desperate. "What we had, it was real." "I ruined it, I know, but stop." My voice cut sharp. "Don't. You dare dress betrayal as love." He flinched. I was stupid. Blinded. "But you were the one constant, Emily. You always believed in me." I stepped closer, my words like knives. "Believed in you. I built my world around you, Daniel, and you tore it down with my sister in my bed." His shoulders sagged. I thought she'd feel something I was missing. But she never did. It was always you. I laughed bitterly. "You don't love me. You love the memory of who I was. The girl who worshipped you. She's gone." A door creaked. Sophie appeared from behind him, her eyes swollen. "Emily," she whispered. I stiffened. Of course, the happy couple. She shook her head. "Not happy. Not even close." Her voice broke. "I made a mistake. I thought taking him would make me feel stronger, but all I feel is empty." I stared at her, my sister, the girl who once smiled as she destroyed me. "Empty," I repeated. "Do you want me to pity you?" Her tears spilled faster. "No, I just want you to know I was wrong. I should never have touched him. I should never have hurt you." Daniel's voice cracked. "We both should never have hurt you." I felt heat rise in my chest, years of silence finally breaking. "You didn't just hurt me," I spat. "Killed the person I was. You killed my trust, my faith, my family." Every night I lay awake hearing your voices, wondering why I wasn't enough. Sophie sobbed, clutching her arms. "I'm sorry, sorry," I snapped. "Do you think that word rewrites the nights I cried myself sick? Do you think it erases watching my parents defend you while I drowned?" Daniel reached out. "Emily, please." I slapped his hand away. "Don't touch me." His voice dropped, ragged. "If you can't forgive me, at least say something. Anything, don't leave me like this." I stared at them to Rex, trembling, in their shame. And for the first time, I felt no need to scream, no hunger for revenge. Just release. I whispered almost to myself. You deserve each other. Then I fell silent. The quiet stretched heavier than any insult. Sophie shifted, fidgeting under its weight. Daniel's mouth opened, closed, opened again. The silence pressed harder, making them crumble. Finally, Sophie choked out, "Say something, please." I kept still. My silence was sharper than words, more punishing than rage. Daniel's voice cracked again. "Emily, I need you." I looked him dead in the eye and said nothing. His face collapsed. "You're colder than I ever imagined." Still, I said nothing. Sophie whispered, "You hate us." I breathed deeply, letting the calm settle. Then I shook my head slowly. No, hate would mean I still care enough to burn. But I don't. Not anymore. They both froze at that, as if my detachment hurt more than any curse. Daniel stepped back, defeated. "So, this is it. This is how it ends." I gave the faintest nod. Sophie whispered, "Emily, please, even if you can't forgive me, just tell me I'm not nothing." I looked at her one last time, the sister who betrayed me, the rival who lost everything, and I let silence speak again. Her sobs filled the air. Sharp, desperate, collapsing into the sound of her own regret. Daniel muttered, "We're broken." I turned my back to them, my voice finally steady. "You were broken long before me." And then I walked away. Later at Ethan's, I sat wordless, still shaking from the encounter. He watched me carefully. "You look lighter." I exhaled. I didn't forgive them. I didn't scream. I didn't even curse them. I just stopped giving them the power to hurt me. Ethan's lips curved faintly. "Silence can be louder than anything." I leaned back, staring at the ceiling. I thought I needed revenge, but all I needed was to let them drown in the silence they gave me years ago. He asked softly, "Do you regret it?" I shook my head. "No. For the first time, I feel free." Ethan set 2 mugs on the table. "You've been quiet since yesterday. Still thinking about them?" I shook my head slowly. "No, for the first time in years, I'm not. Feels strange, like I finally stepped out of a storm." He studied. "Me, strange good or strange bad?" "Good," I said softly. "I don't wake up with their voices in my head anymore. I don't feel the need to prove anything to them." Ethan leaned back. "That sounds like freedom." "It does." I wrapped my hands around the mug. I thought closure would come from their apology. But it didn't. It came when I realized I didn't need them to define me. He smiled gently. "So what defines you now?" I breathed out, considering. "My work, my choices, my peace." And maybe I hesitated meeting his eyes. The people I let close again. Later at work, Clara slid a file across my desk. "You've been glowing lately? Did something happen?" I laughed. "Glowing? That's a first," she smirked. "Don't play coy. You walk differently. Okay, like you're carrying yourself instead of carrying everyone else." Her words struck deep. Maybe I am. For too long, I let others dictate my worth. I'm done with that. Clara tilted her head. "So, what's next? Promotion? Travel? Secret romance?" I shook my head with a smile. Not rushing anywhere, just choosing myself each day. She tapped her pen. "That's harder than it sounds." "I know, but it feels right." That evening, Ethan and I walked. Through the park, the air cool, lights flickering along the path. He broke the silence. "Can I ask you something?" "Go ahead. You ever think about us?" "Beyond friendship, I mean." My chest tightened. "I do, but not the way I used to think about love. Not as desperation or escape. With you, it feels safe." Ethan slowed, watching me carefully. "Safe isn't always exciting." I smiled faintly. "After everything I've been through, safe is exciting." He chuckled. "Fair point." I stopped under a lamppost. I don't want to rush. I need to keep choosing myself before I choose anyone else. His voice softened. "Then I'll wait, as long as it takes." The warmth in his words settled deep inside me. Thank you. The next day, my mother called. Her voice was uneasy. Your sister hasn't been around. Neither has Daniel. You've seen them? No, I said firmly. I don't want to. She hesitated. They're struggling. I closed my eyes. I struggled too, and no one carried me. They made their choices. Let them live with them. A pause stretched before she whispered, You've changed. Yes, I replied, and I'm not going back. That night, I stood by the window, watching the city lights. Ethan's earlier words echoed in my mind, but I felt no urgency. For once, I wasn't waiting for someone to save me or hurt me. I was simply me. I whispered. To my reflection, I choose myself. The words felt like an anchor, steady and unshakable. Clara's laughter at work. Ethan's patience. My own strength, all of it, pointed forward, not back. Sophie and Daniel were fading ghosts, powerless in the light of who I was becoming. Ethan texted me, still awake, smiled, typing back, yes, thinking too much about me. He replied, I hesitated, then answered, about life. But you're in it now, so yes. His next message came quickly. Good, stay there. Don't run from what makes you happy. I set the phone down, heart steady. Happiness no longer felt like a prize someone else could give or take away. It was something I could grow day by choosing myself first. And for the first time, that was enough. The park was still, the sky painted in soft shades of pink and gold. My steps crunched against the gravel path, steady and unhurried. Ethan walked quietly beside me, hands tucked into his jacket. He broke the silence first. You really like mornings now? I smiled faintly. I used to hate them. Too much light? Too many reminders of what I'd lost, and now, he asked gently. Now the light feels different. Doesn't expose me anymore, it warms me. Ethan glanced at me, a small smile tugging at his lips. That's a big change. It is, I admitted. But then I've changed too. We paused at a bench overlooking the pond. The water shimmered, touched by the rising sun. Ethan asked, Do you ever think about them anymore? I inhaled deeply, less and less. Their shadows used to follow me everywhere. Now they're just distant, like old echoes. He studied me, and if Sophie came back asking again for forgiveness, I shook my head. I'd give her silence. Not out of cruelty, but because I don't owe her anything. She can live with her choices. I'm living with mine. Ethan nodded slowly. That's strength. No, I said quietly. That's freedom. We walked again, our pace unhurried. The air smelled of damp earth and fresh blossoms. Ethan chuckled softly. You know, when I first saw you at your lowest, I wondered if you'd ever find your way out. I tilted my head. And now I see someone who rebuilt herself piece by piece, stronger than before. I laughed softly. Funny, I used to think scars ruined me. Now I see them as proof that I survived. They are, he agreed. Every scar has a story. And mine, I whispered, isn't a story of loss anymore. It's a story of return. We reached the bridge that arched over the small stream. The sunlight stretched across it, painting everything in gold. I leaned against the railing. Ethan asked, So what happens next for you? I thought for a moment. I keep walking forward. I keep choosing myself. Career, dreams, peace. Maybe love when I'm ready, but never again will I give my worth to someone else to decide. He looked at me carefully. And me, where do I fit in? I smiled softly. You're not a rescuer. You're not a crutch. You're someone who saw me rise. That makes you part of the journey, not the destination. Ethan chuckled. I can live with that. We stood there a while longer, the world waking around us. Birds sang. Joggers passed. The city slowly stirred. I said quietly, Sophie once thought she won by taking him from me. But the truth is, she gave me back to myself. Ethan's eyes softened. That's powerful. It's the truth, I whispered. She chose him over me, and for a long time I thought that made me less. But standing here now, I see I was never less. I was just waiting to remember who I was. And who are you now? He asked. I turned toward the sunrise. Someone who isn't defined by betrayal or pain or the past. Someone who belongs to herself. We started walking again, the path curving toward the park's exit. The light grew brighter, warm on my face. I felt a calm I had never known before. Not the fragile calm of denial, but the steady peace of acceptance. My scars were still there, my memories intact, but they no longer chained me. They simply told the story of how I endured. I whispered more to myself than to him. This is my life now, a life that is mine alone. Ethan didn't reply, and he didn't need to. His presence beside me was enough, not as a savior, but as a witness to the woman I had become. I took one last look at the sunrise and let the final thought settle deep within me. I came back. I chose myself. And that choice will always be enough.